Terry Hutchins with allhoosiers.com with Nolan Blair and Justin Albers. Indiana gets beat 79-72 in the Crossroads Classic to Notre Dame. The storyline that jumped out at me early was that everything looked like it was so easy for Notre Dame in the first half. Indiana seemed to get it going defensively after a while, but I mean, Noah Vonleh was being pushed around by some guys that you wouldn't think he'd get pushed around by.
Yeah, he didn't play well on defense at all. We haven't really seen him get pushed around by anybody this year, including guys from Syracuse that are bigger and better than guys from Notre Dame. So that was a surprise. And then offensively, it might have been even worse because he didn't demand the ball inside. Finished with 8 points and 6 rebounds, very average. They didn't work inside out like they normally do to have success. They relied way too much on the perimeter and shot threes and settled for jump shots. And that's not the way this team's going to win. If they're not playing through Vonleh, if he's only shooting 1 free throw per game, they're not going to win many games in the Big Ten.
He only took 5 shots, and sometimes that's a product of the fact that he's going to the line so many times that, you know, maybe those are 4 or 5 shots that he's not getting. In this game, he only took 1 shot. It was on a 1 free throw. It was on a 1-and-1. He missed it. But, I mean, Vonleh was clearly one of the things. Boy, I thought Yogi kind of, I don't know, he's had a tough stretch the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Yogi, the way that teams are going to play Indiana this year, they're going to pack the lane and make them shoot outside shots, and that's exactly what Notre Dame did. They kind of followed the Syracuse model, played the 2-3, packed Vonleh in the paint, and for a while that was okay. Indiana stayed in because Will Sheehy got to the middle of it, and they took Yogi away, but Sheehy was making mid-range jump shots so they could hang in. Then they went man-to-man. Indiana hadn't established the post. They weren't throwing it into Vonleh, even though he had one-on-one matchups. They were no longer packing the zone. But they were so used to that from earlier on in the game, and so they were completely out of rhythm. And they got to be ready for that, because that's how almost every team's going to play them from here on out. Especially teams that don't match up as well physically, like Notre Dame. They'll just pack them in inside, dare them to shoot outside, and so far Indiana hasn't proven that they can do that.
Will Sheehy in the first half, especially 16 of his 22 points. It's kind of a Sheehy we really haven't seen for a while offensively. But there was, you know, good with the bad with Sheehy. He had 5 turnovers. Just made some critical errors down the stretch
and
too.
it seemed in the second half he was forcing a lot of his shots there, and that's really I thought the story of the second half was a lot of forced shots. But I did think they made some big plays on defense that allowed them to get back into the game late. But again, a lot of forced shots and just not great offensive rhythm there in the second half.
One thing that stood out to me too is or not stood out, but coming out of this game, you know, now they have 3 non-conference losses, and boy, you know, at the end of the Big Ten season, if they're in that 19-20 win range now, this is one of those ones that you could come back and look at as probably being a bad loss, only because I really don't think Notre Dame is that good of a team.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They don't have a signature win. Washington's not going to be the signature win for you. Evansville's not going to be. What I was really disappointed with tonight was the play of some of these freshmen that have played big moments so far this season. I mean, Troy Williams, in their first big moment of the year in New York, plays his best game of the year. Tonight, he's virtually non-existent out there, forcing the issue, not playing defense. He had to be pretty much set. He was one of the guys Crane talked about post-game. The lights were too bright for him tonight. Devin Davis, another one. The freshmen really kind of let them down tonight. It was all seniors, and this team has so many freshmen that they rely on. That can't be the case in big games like this.
That's it for us from Bankers Life Fieldhouse, again, where Notre Dame beats Indiana 79-72. This brings me back to my CYO coaching days when Justin was playing above the rim. We'll catch you next time after the Nicholls State game next Friday. Thanks for watching.